Thanks again for being with us here on KXAN News and 4. All right, the beginning of February marked the start of the final month of winter. Chief Meteorologist Nick Bannin is here tracking all this for us and an in-depth look at winter so far. Based on the temperatures we're seeing out there, off to a warm start.
Off to a warm start this month, yes. But
right.
This winter's been all over the place. December, second warmest December on record. January, one of our coldest winters we've had in quite some time. But it sort of worked to offset each other as far as December and January are concerned. The average temperature, this is normal for factoring in morning lows and afternoon highs for the months of December into January, 52.9 degrees in Austin. But what was reality this past December into this past January, 53.3. So that's just about half a degree above normal because the warm December sort of overcompensated for the colder than average January. So we're off to a warmer than normal start to winter, but not exceptionally so. Things sort of balanced out a little bit. What about rain though? Well, we should have had 5 1/3 inches of rain when you add up December and January's rain, but this is what reality was this past December and January, a little more than 3 inches of rain. That means that we are already in a more than 2-inch rainfall deficit for winter so far, and February is usually not that wet of a month for us to play any sort of catch up. As far as what is now the forecast for the rest of February, well, the National Weather Service and the Climate Prediction Center released their final outlook for February last Friday, and it calls for a warmer than normal month. So back on the warm side of the pendulum again. But what about rain? Looks near normal for rainfall for most of us in February, although leaning drier than normal southwest of Austin. What is normal in February, though? Average highs around 66.5 degrees, average lows in the mid-40s. Average rain, not much. It is our driest month of the year on average. Now, that means it's sort of easier to beat that 1.89 if we had one hefty storm in the middle of the month. But other than that, not expecting a whole lot of wet weather in a typical February, but it is also our snowiest month on average with 0.2 of an inch of snow. Of course, we had double that in January. On KXAN.com right now, I posted an update to the February outlook, including a look back at winter so far, and it includes our Facebook, our KXAN Live, KXAN.com and Facebook Live discussion about February to come and the winter so far. That's on KXAN.com under the Weather and Traffic tab. This is what's happening outside right now from our Austonian weather camera. Sunshine, scattered clouds, and still way warmer than we should be. We should be around 65. Instead, we're at 83, almost 20 degrees above normal for this time of year. Maybe you're loving this. Morning clouds, afternoon sun. In February, a little early for spring weather, but maybe you're kind of hoping for a little more wintry weather and winter cold before we start to warm up. The reason that we're so humid and so warm is a southeast flow off the Gulf is pumping in the moisture, and that's showing itself especially in the overnight and morning hours in the form of all those low clouds that fill in. And while we should be mostly clear through 8 or 9 tonight, we still expect these low clouds to rush back in overnight, giving way to a gray start to the day tomorrow. I also think we've got a higher chance of some spotty drizzle or a light little sprinkle shower tomorrow morning compared to the last few mornings. Now, some of you may have already felt a little drizzle the last few mornings. I just think the odds of that happening tomorrow morning are about as high as they will be here for the rest of the week. But just like the last few days, the morning clouds will give way to increasing sun tomorrow afternoon. That should be enough to push us back into the 80s before, you guessed it, the clouds come back again for Thursday morning. And then the clouds lift again as we get into Thursday afternoon, which pushes us back into the 80s again. Every day very similar with some subtle differences, that's all. There is a cold front northwest of us. This is not coming down into central Texas. In fact, it's going to be lifting back up north as a warm front. But you can see the separation here from 83 in Austin, 61 in Abilene, Oklahoma City's at 35. But as this front lifts back north as a warm front, more of Texas will start to feel a bit more warmth here tomorrow. You can see where our temperatures go tomorrow, starting in the mid-60s, ending up at 81. That is not quite as warm as today and yesterday, but still 16 degrees above normal for this time of year. So we'll go with 66 tonight, increasing clouds, late night drizzle, bit more commonplace than it was the last couple of mornings, and we'll have the morning clouds and drizzle tomorrow, followed by afternoon sun and a warm breeze out of the south, pushing us up to 81. And then temperatures will keep climbing. 84 Thursday, 85 Friday. We're now going 87 on Saturday. That would be a record-tying high temperature. After Saturday, a cold front takes away the humidity. Until then, it's going to feel muggy and warm. Once that cold front comes in Sunday, rain chances start to return as well as more comfortable air. You can see slim rain chances Sunday, higher rain chances Monday, the highest rain chances coming on Tuesday, where we think if you add up Monday and Tuesday's rain, 1/4 inch to an inch for most of us, but into the hill country, those amounts drop to less than 1/4 inch of rain. Here's a look at our first morning weather 7-day forecast. You can see those temperature changes. 4 days additional of 80s, and then it's 60s Sunday and only in the 50s Monday and Tuesday. But while we do cool off during the day, we're not seeing any immediate signs of any additional freezes.